The runner no one notices. The runner no one notices. I'm not the one they look for. No early pace, no sudden move, just part of the road, blending into motion. Shoes hit ground, same as theirs, but no one tracks where I am. Just another stride in the middle of everything. I've seen them pass, heard the cheers, felt the shift when someone leads, but none of it lands here. The runner no one notices, still runs, still stays, not in front, not behind, just somewhere they don't name. For someone this is everything for me, just today, no record, I need a break, no place to claim. Still I move through distance without a mark, without a call, just step by step, holding my own line. I've thought about going faster, pushing more, being seen, but something in me never needed that. The runner no one notices, doesn't fade, doesn't stop, just continues in a way that doesn't ask to be known. They pass me, I pass them, no moment stays long enough to mean what I thought it would. And still this road includes me, not loudly, not clearly, but fully. No spotlight to hold, no silence to break, just movement that stays its own. The runner no one notices, still counts, still builds, not because it's seen, but because it exists. Not every run is a story, some are just lived without telling, and what you do without being seen might be the most honest form of it. The runner no one notices became how I run, not louder, not different, just mine from start to end. No name, no call, still running. I moved ahead just enough, not a sprint, not a surge, just a shift that placed me in front. Their footsteps fell behind, not far, still close, but something in the sound changed. I've imagined this closing the gap, moving past, being ahead, a moment that meant something. After I passed them, nothing arrived, no rush, no lift, just space where something should have been. The pace stayed steady, no break, no fall, still the weight didn't change the way I thought it would. The road looked the same, no mark, no line, just distance, continuing without reaction. I've chased this for miles, a place to reach, but standing here felt quieter than expected. After I passed them, no answer came, no meaning attached, just motion that didn't shift inside. For someone it's relief, for someone just silence, for someone it's a question they didn't plan to ask, and none of it shows in the stride, still it stays in the space they carry forward. No one turns, no one calls, no signal to confirm, just the sound of fewer steps behind. Still counts, still holds, not because I won, but because something stayed unanswered. Not every goal fills the space, some reveal what wasn't there to begin with. And what you reach might not match what you thought it would give back. After I passed them, I kept going, not faster, not proud, just forward, with something I didn't expect. my feet kept time with the ground. Steady, predictable, like they've done 100 times before. But my mind wasn't here, it drifted past the street to places that don't move at all. I've trained for focus, for presence, for control. Every step something slipped without warning. Running, but somewhere else, not lost, not gone, just split between what moves and what stays behind. The rhythm stayed unchanged, no stumble, no break, still something felt disconnected. Like I was watching from outside, a version of me doing it right without being fully there. I've tried to fix it, pull it back, stay in the moment, stay on track, but forcing it only pushed me further away. Running, but somewhere else, not weaker, not wrong, just carrying more than one place at once. For someone, it's stress. For someone, just noise. For someone, it's everything they didn't say yet. And none of it shows in the strides, till it moves through every step they take. No correction to make, no version to fix, just movement that includes everything inside. Running, but somewhere it still counts, still stays, not because it's perfect, but because it continues. Not every run is present, some are carried through distance without focus. And what you hold while moving might matter more than how you run it. Running, but somewhere else. Running, but somewhere else. Running, but somewhere else is still a run, not divided, not broken, just real in a way you don't name. Body here, mind away, still forward. I saw a version up ahead, not faster, just familiar, like something I used to be without knowing when. Same posture, same rhythm, a way of moving. I remember before I started thinking this much. I've changed things, adjusted form, fixed mistakes, tracked progress, but something in that stride felt easier. Running next to who I was, not behind, not ahead, just close enough to notice what I left and what stayed. There were days I forced control, perfect pace, perfect breath, trying to become something I thought I should be. But that version up ahead didn't carry any of that, just moved like it belonged to the road. I've tried to improve, to evolve, to be better, to be more, but maybe I stepped away from something that worked. Running next to who I was, not to return, not to chase, just to see what I'd forgotten, trying to move forward. For someone, it's progress. For someone, it's control. For someone, it's letting go of something they built too tightly. And somewhere in between. And somewhere in between, there's a pace that fits, not forced, not lost, just theirs. No version to reject, no self to replace, just movement that includes everything I've been. Running next to who I was, still counts, still holds, not because it's better, but because it's still me. Not every step is forward, some circle back to remind what felt right before you questioned it. And what you were might not be gone, just waiting to be included again. Running next to who I was became how I run, not divided, not replaced, just carried into what I am now. Same road to self didn't notice what would stay. No moment to decide what mattered enough to remain. Some things faded without sound, some disappeared along the way, but a few kept returning without asking. I try to choose what to keep, what to build, what to become, but it never worked that cleanly. What stayed became me, not planned, not shaped, just everything that remained when other things fell away. There were efforts that didn't last, goals that didn't hold, things I thought would define me but didn't. And then there were smaller things, quiet habits, repeated days that never left. Even when I questioned them, I've looked for meaning in big moments, clear shifts to visible change, but this didn't form that way. What stayed became me, without asking, without proof. Not built in a line, but in what refused to disappear. For someone, it's showing up. For someone, just a day. For someone, it's holding on when letting go made sense. And none of it looks the same, still it gathers into something they carry forward. No scale to measure, no line to reach, just time that shaped what remained. What stayed became me, still counts, still holds. Not because it's visible, but because it endured. Not everything you do becomes you, only what you don't let go of, and what you carry through time quietly becomes more real than anything you choose once. What stayed became me is where I stand today. Not finished, not defined, but built from everything that remained. No design, no claim, still me. It didn't start with a plan, no clear path to follow, just small things repeated without being named. Nothing stood out day to day, no moment to hold, just the same effort returning again and again. I looked for change in bigger ways, clear results, visible shifts, something I could point to and say. What came from consistency was never loud, never clear, just something I stood in before I noticed I had changed. There were days I questioned if this was anything or just time passing through me. Nothing felt different, nothing felt new, still I kept showing up without knowing why. I waited for proof, for something to confirm, but it never arrives that way. What came from consistency doesn't explain, doesn't prove, it forms in ways I don't track while I move. For someone it's distance, for someone just today, for someone it's the first time they didn't walk away. And none of it looks the same, still it builds into something they didn't expect to become. No comparison to hold, no scale to match, just effort that stayed with me. What came from consistency still counts, still stays, not because it's seen, but because I didn't stop. Not every change arrives fast, some take shape before you notice they're there. And what you built might already be more than you think right now. What came from consistency is where I stand today, not finished, not defined, but further Days widened without warning, hours stretched past intention. No starting line, no familiar rhythm, just space that lingered. The shoes gathered a quiet layer, not dust but distance from something I used to enter without thinking. I searched for urgency, something to restart, a signal to resume, but nothing arrived in that form. The pause that stayed didn't end, didn't fade, it settled into the edges of how I moved without moving. For some, it's recovery, for some, uncertainty, for others, a silence they can't define. No shared outline, no single call, still it holds each person in a different kind of stillness. I expected clarity, a moment that explains why I stopped, but it never resolved that way. The pause that stayed carried away without sound, not absence, but something unseen that remained. The road didn't call, it existed unchanged, open without asking if I'd return, and something within didn't disappear, just waited in a form I couldn't use yet. No timeline to follow, no measure to track, just a stretch that didn't break. The pause that stayed still counts, still holds, not because it moves, but because it didn't dissolve. Not every gap needs filling, some remain until they become part of you. And what you carry through stillness might shape more than motion ever could. The pause that stayed became where I stand, not lost, not delayed, just something I lived through. No return, no restart, still here. The shoes stay still by the door, no early step, no quiet street, just time passing without movement. The body held something back, not broken, not gone, just enough to say, not today. I've measured days by distance, by effort, by how far I went, but these don't fit that line. Days I couldn't run, still count, still stay. Not because I moved, but because I didn't leave this. For someone it's pain, for someone just wait, for someone it's a reason they can't explain. And none of it looks the same, still it holds them in place. For now, I've waited to feel ready, to feel right, to feel clear, but these days don't change that way. The road didn't leave, it stayed unchanged, still there waiting without asking anything. And something remained even here, not in motion but in not letting go. No proof to show, no step to mark, just time that didn't break me. Days I couldn't run, still count, still build. Not because I moved forward, but because I didn't turn away. Not every step is taken, some are held until they can be again. And what you past that point quietly. No signal, no shift, just a step that didn't stop where it used to. It didn't feel different, no sudden strength, no release, just the same road continuing after I thought that place was the line where things would end or change in some clear way. Still forward from there, no finish, no break, just distance that didn't stop after that step. The breath stayed uneven, the pace didn't rise, nothing easier, nothing gained right then. But something held through that point and carried into what came next. I've waited for a moment that defines what I've done, but it never comes that way. Still forward from there, not because it changed, but because it continued beyond what I knew. For someone, that point was everything. For someone, just a step, they didn't end. And after that, the road didn't stop. It stayed open in ways they hadn't seen. No marker to show, no proof to hold, just distance that remained ahead. Still forward from there, still counts, still stays. Not because it seemed, but because it didn't end. Not every step changes everything, some just refuse to be the last. And what comes after might not feel different, but it is further. Still forward from there is where I am now, not finished, not defined, but beyond where I once stopped. That point passed, still forward. Nothing changed on the surface, same route, same pace, no sign of anything becoming different. I checked for proof in the usual places, time, distance, how it felt, but everything looked the same. I've trusted numbers, visible shifts, something I could point to and say it's working. Invisible progress doesn't show, doesn't ask, it stays beyond what I can measure, and still it builds. The body repeats what it knows, no breakthrough, no sudden gain, just movement that doesn't announce itself. There were moments I questioned if anything was changing, or if I was just moving in place. I've waited for something clear, a shift I could feel, but this doesn't arrive that way. Invisible progress doesn't prove, doesn't speak, it forms in ways I don't notice yet. The road gives nothing back, no feedback, no signal, just the same distance every time. But something holds after I leave, not in numbers, not in form, but in how I return. No moment to define, no point to mark, just accumulation without attention. Invisible progress still counts, still stays, not because it's seen, but because it remains. Not everything that grows appears, some things become before they show, and what I can't see today might already be shaping everything ahead. Invisible progress becomes who I am, not suddenly, not clearly, but through everything I kept doing. No sign, no proof, still it changed. I stopped adjusting before I arrived. No final polish, no second pass, just left it as it was. details stay slightly off. Edges, not aligned, nothing corrected, nothing hidden. Before this moment, I've shaped things until they fit, refined them until they felt right, but it never held for long. No refinement still present, no final form to hold, just standing here with everything left as it is. The doubts still come, precise and quiet. You could fix this, clean this up. Familiar patterns I used to follow without pause, but now they pass without weight. No need to respond, no urge to rework what I've brought. I've waited for cleaner lines, better shape, clearer form, but nothing arrives complete. No refinement still present, unfinished, unpolished, no correction to apply, just the state I didn't change. The road doesn't ask for alignment, it doesn't care what I've fixed, it meets what appears as it stands. And today I arrived without edits, without layers, just the version that continued through. No more shaping, no more revising, just the form I stayed in. No refinement still present, no disguise, no repair, just real in a way I don't need to explain. Some things don't improve, they settle when you stop working on them. And what remains without change is closer to truth than anything perfected. No refinement still present, and that is enough. Not because it's complete, but because it's here. No limits, no polish, still standing. Go final check, changes this, the list is done. The bag is closed, everything I packed fits into what I've been lately. The room holds still, nothing adds, no extra thought to rearrange, just a quiet way of days that didn't stop early. I've tried to find cutaway edges, add one more layer to feel prepared, but it never settles that way. This is what I bring, not ideal, not refined, no missing piece I can fix tonight, just what stayed when it could have left. The doubts still visit, soft and precise. You could have done more, one more week. Familiar lines with careful timing, almost convincing, but they don't anchor like before. They pass through the same space without changing how I stand. I've waited to feel complete, to feel certain, to feel ready, but readiness never arrives clean. This is what I bring, unfinished, uncertain, no guarantee, no assurance, just everything I didn't abandon on the way here. The road won't shift for my timing, it won't ask what I prefer, it meets what I carry as it is. And maybe that's enough, no adjustment, no correction, just contact between distance and truth. No more building, no more changing, just the state I arrived in. This is what I bring, not louder, not stronger, but real in a way I can't replace. Nothing gets added right now, nothing improves overnight, only accepted. What I bring is mine, not perfect, not complete, because it's enough to run. No more waiting, no more shaping, just this.
No one tracks this kind of run, no numbers that stand out, just a familiar road holding another return. The body moves without signal, no surge, no peak, just repetition that doesn't ask to be seen. I've chased runs that show clear gains, visible shifts, but this stays unnoticed. The run that builds quietly doesn't prove anything, no moment to claim, just something forming over time. The pace holds without urgency, no push, no strain, just a steady line that continues past expectation. I don't check distance as often, not because it doesn't matter, but because this is different. It doesn't arrive all at once, no clear point where it changes, just layers adding without sound. The run that builds quietly stays longer than effort, not in speed, not in distance, but in what remains. The road repeats as always, same turns, same path, but something isn't the same, even if it looks like it. I've run this before many times, till today, at something I can't yet measure. No finish to define, no marker to confirm, just distance settling into me. The run that builds quietly doesn't stop when I do, it stays beyond the moment I leave the road. Not everything grows inside, some things form without being seen. And what feels small, repeated enough, becomes something that doesn't break. The run that builds quietly becomes who I am, not suddenly, not clearly, but through everything I kept doing. No proof, no sign, still it built. He used to map exits before he began, not fear, just awareness, a quiet understanding of where it could end if needed. She carried alternatives like backup plans, shorter routes, easier pace, options folded neatly into every run, just in case. It wasn't weakness, just structure, a way to remain in control of the outcome. The choice that disappeared didn't break, didn't close, it just faded from reach, somewhere between one step and the next. Another runner held the same pattern, measured effort, calculated strain, knowing exactly how far was enough. But something shifted without warning, not the body, not the pace, just the relevance of stopping began to dissolve. No decision marked it, no moment defined it, just a gradual loss of that option. The choice that disappeared was still there in theory, unchanged, but it no longer fit into the way I moved. The road stretched as it always had, same turns, same distance, but the questions felt different, less urgent, less present. He noticed it late, almost missed it, that familiar thought, you can stop here, arrived, but didn't stay. Not resisted, not ignored, just unanswered and gone. The choice that did disappeared, wasn't taken, wasn't refused. It simply lost its place in what I continue to do. Not everything ends with intent. Some things fade when they're no longer used. A path once available becomes distant, not close, just irrelevant to the direction you've become. The choice that disappeared left nothing behind. No gap, no absence, just a quieter way of continuing without looking for it again. It didn't vanish, I just stopped reaching for it.
Nothing had ended officially. No words, no closure. Just a day that looked like any other. I moved through it normally. Same rhythm, same steps, but something felt slightly removed from before. No break, no clear line, just a quiet shift in how things held together. Before it became final, nothing changed outside. No signal, no sound, just a silence that didn't reverse. The run felt familiar, same route, same pace, but every step carried something unspoken. I didn't question, didn't define, no need to confirm, just movement through something closing. I've ended things with clarity, clean lines, clear choices, but this stayed uncertain. Before it became final, there was no decision, no point to mark, just something I didn't undo. The distance built without force, not escape, not intent, just separation quietly taking form. The road didn't change, but I did not suddenly, not completely, just enough to not return. No witness to this shift, no proof it was right, only the absence of continuation. Before it became final was already after, not because I chose, but because I didn't go back. Some endings don't arrive, they accumulate until nothing remains to hold. Before it became final, held everything, not clarity, not relief, just a moment I didn't continue. Nothing stopped, nothing broke, still it ended. Nothing looked out of place, same room, same light, shoes where they always were, like nothing had already shifted. I moved slowly through routine, not careful, just aware. Every action slightly heavier than it should have been. No one would call this a moment, no signal to remember, still something quietly close. Before I didn't come back, everything stayed unchanged. No break, no sound, just silence that already knew I wouldn't return. The run felt familiar, same route, same pace, but each step held something final without saying it. just separation becoming real. The road didn't change, but I did quietly, completely, without needing to say it. No witness to the shift, no proof it was right, only the absence of return. Before I didn't come back was already after, not because I chose, but because I stayed gone. Some endings don't begin, they just stop continuing. Before I didn't come back, held everything, not closure, not clarity, just the moment I didn't turn around. Nothing changed, but I didn't come back. I didn't decide to go out, no clear reason, no fixed intent. Just shoes by the door in a moment, I didn't interrupt. The road was there like always, unchanged, uninviting. Still I moved without asking what this was for. I've made plans, set targets, defined purpose before, but this felt different. No decision, still running, no answer, still moving, one step without meaning, and somehow that was enough. Someone passed, or maybe not, I didn't track, didn't care, the world kept its distance, and I kept mine. No pressure to continue, no reason to stop, just a line I didn't step away from. I've stopped for less, turned back for nothing, but this didn't break. No decision, still running, no clarity, still here, no finish, no outcome, just motion that remained. The distance built quietly, not chased, not forced, the pace found shape without direction. Time passed unnoticed, steps repeated, unquestioned, something continue without me naming it. No moment to define, no shift to mark, still something held. No decision, still running, no meaning, still real, no reason, still present, and that was enough. Not everything begins with choice, some things just don't stop. No decisions, no decisions, no decision, still running, and now I see not why, not how, just that I didn't leave. No answer, no ending, still moving. I didn't plan to commit, just a short run to clear something. Shoes tied loosely, mind unsettled, a distance I could walk away from. The road felt neutral, nothing pulling, no direction, just movement until I saw you already in motion. No signal, no intention, no reason to stay longer. Still something shifted without asking. I saw, then I stayed, nothing dramatic, no decision, just absence of leaving. One step after another without turning back. You weren't fast, not remarkable, just steady, unbroken rhythm that didn't ask to be seen. And somehow that was enough, not to follow, not to match, just to remain when I could have left. I've left runs half finished, cut them short, called it enough, but this felt different. I saw, then I stayed, not because I had to, but because something no longer let me leave. The distance extended without effort, the pace found itself, not faster, not stronger, just continuous. You stayed ahead, unaware, no exchange took no explanation, no closure, no reason to remember. Still, it remained after. So then I stayed, and that was enough not to change everything, just enough to continue beyond what I planned. You didn't know, you didn't try, you mattered. I saw that I stayed, and now I run, not towards you, not because, but because I didn't leave. Nothing was said, nothing was asked, still something remained. I almost stayed inside that morning, shoes untouched, time unclaimed, no urgency to begin. Just a day I could let pass. Then I saw you, not approaching, not announcing, just already moving through the road like it belonged to you. No introduction, no context, no reason to remember, but something in that motion refused to fade. The runner I saw didn't speak, didn't look, didn't slow, just kept moving in a way I couldn't ignore. Not perfect, not effortless, just consistent, unbroken, a rhythm that didn't ask for attention. And somehow there was enough not to follow, not to chase, just to feel something shift inside. I've seen speed, I've seen distance, but this was different. Something quieter but deeper. The runner I saw made it clear not what to do, not how to run, but what it means to continue without noise. The road didn't change, but I did a small step, became inevitable without force. You were still there ahead, not distant, not close, just enough to exist in my mind. No words, no exchange, no shared moment to define it. Still something remained after. The runner I saw became direction, not because you led, but because you moved. Maybe you don't know what stayed with me, but something did. The runner I saw still moves through everyone, not in front, not behind, but present in a way I can't explain. I didn't follow you, I followed what it left.
Not every pace arrives quickly. Some rhythms take years. Morning miles without witnesses. Evening runs after long days that watch your records. But the road knows more. Years ago I chased numbers. Split times felt urgent, but distance changes ambition. Longevity adjusts the rhythm. Speed was loud, but patience lasts longer. Some runners rush improvement, others let miles teach slowly. Progress rarely shouts. A pace built slowly doesn't break, it grows through repetition, through quiet miles, through ordinary days, until the stride becomes home. Recovery became training, holding back became wisdom. Progress hides inconsistency in showing up when nothing demands it. Anyone can run fast once, but building pace takes patience. Years, not weeks. A pace built slowly carries a runner farther. Miles past, years past, the pace remained. The watch still measures every mile. Numbers appear without emotion. Once they were faster, easy to claim. Now the road asks patience. The body negotiates with distance. Stride adjusted, breath steadier. Training cycles, intervals, long runs, ordinary mornings. Speed changed, but something refused to disappear. Not the speed of youth, not the reckless early miles, but another rhythm learned slowly through staying. The speed that stayed is quieter, not chasing seconds, not proving anything, just knowing how to move through miles that matter. The younger runner rushed the road today. I read it, fatigue, terrain, breath, signals once ignored. Longevity rewrites success, speed fades, experience remains. And the road recognizes both. The speed that stayed lives inside every decision, every adjustment. Not louder, not faster, but wiser through distance. But by the miles still waiting ahead. The numbers changed, but the runner didn't stop. Without warning, legs moving but rhythm fading. The road stretched longer than planned, breath shortened step by step. No race here, no urgency, just the quiet weight of distance. Years ago I fought fatigue, pushed harder, ignored the signals. But distance teaches restraints, longevity changes the rhythm. Now I slow before breaking. Running isn't only forward motion. Sometimes the smartest step is smaller, breath returning before the pace. Reset the breath, slow the noise, let the rhythm come back. Not forcing, not chasing, just breathing until the run finds itself again. motion, holding back is discipline. Progress hides in patience, in quiet adjustments. A runner learns when to slow. Miles are patient, they wait for rhythm to return. Running is not speed, it's balance. Reset the brake, find the stride, let the road meet you halfway. Not louder, not faster, just steady I go. Wind, steps, breath, 3 sounds forming. One rhythm, reset, focus. The one rejoice, fatigues offense, the stride on, extend stronger. Just cover and the miles continue. One breath, one step, the rhythm The road was quiet, just my steps. Rhythm of breath, steady but tired. No crowd waiting, no finish line. Just another mile inside the routine. The mind counting small discomforts. The body asking for negotiation. Today felt longer than usual. Years ago I chased speed, split times to find a run. But distance changes the rules. Longevity asks for patience. Ego fades, pacing remains. Consistency takes the lead. Most runs pass unnoticed. No applause for showing up. Miles build slowly